Now, yesterday it was reported that DDG pretty much lost custody of his son. Reports are coming out that the reason why he may have lost his child is because he has been putting his hands on Holly Bailey. Didn't see Holly Bailey actually just was granted a restraining order against DDG. She is alleging that he did a plethora of things, and she even uploaded some photos as objective evidence to show that, hey, he really is putting his hands on her. Claims things got physical in January. They actually broke up back in October. Holly says DDG came over to pick up their son, Halo, and she tried to start a convo with the rapper about a child visitation schedule. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat, she claims DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car, bitch." Holly says the baby was crying and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state. That's when they allegedly started wrestling, with DDG pulling her hair, slamming her face on his steering wheel, and chipping her tooth.
Shalom, shalom, Akim. Before I begin, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. All right. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and salutations unto the elect. Okay, I'm the brother Gabaria Allah coming at you with another lesson, man. And today's lesson or this topic is going to be based off that whole DDG situation. Now, I was aware that he's like a rapper or like a content creator, and I don't really listen to his music or whatnot, but I was aware of who he is. Okay, I'm aware of who he is, and a couple years back, he made that one song that went viral on TikTok or on Instagram or wherever it went viral, where pretty much it goes moonwalking in the Calabasas. Okay, but anywho, that's not really important. Just some background context of who that individual is. Okay, and it's been recently set out that he was violent towards his woman. Okay, he was violent towards his ex or whatever, which there's no such thing as an ex. Okay, if that man laid down with that woman, she's technically his forever. Okay, until either the husband divorces her, but then she can't get back with anybody else. But this in this society, obviously that's not how it works. But pretty much, he wasn't able to control his emotions. Okay, he wasn't able to control his emotions, and that's part of being a man, part of being a stoic man. Okay, at that is being able to control your emotions. Okay, an emotional man is never a good man. Okay, because with your emotions, you tend to do some dumb shit. Okay, now this dude got himself in a lot of trouble, for beating on his woman. Okay, so this is the book of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Right? Okay. But I wanted you to get that first half. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. Okay. Pretty much being able to control your emotions. All right. Being able to understand, okay, you're feeling frustrated, but you're not going to let your emotions overtake what you about to do. Okay. You're not going to let your emotions dictate your actions. Okay. And that's what a lot of these Jake doing. That's why a lot of Jake get in trouble. Okay. That's the main reason Jake get in trouble, bro. If you think about it, all them times Jake landed himself in jail, why did he do so? For fighting, for killing someone, for doing this, that, and the third, for killing someone. And why do they kill people? Because of their fucking emotions. Okay. If you would just if you would just learn how to control your emotions, stop being so damn feminine, Because really, that's a feminine spirit. To allow your emotions to control you, that's a feminine spirit. Okay? You know, we're all angry here. Okay? We're all suffering. We're all going through it. Okay? But part of being a man is being able to control your emotions. Part of being a man is being able to understand that your emotions do not control you. You control your emotions. Okay? But a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't walk like that. Okay? Real quick. I'm going to get the book of Proverbs again. Proverbs. I believe it's in the 6th. 16. But let me grab this. And I'm going to grab it in the GNT. Okay, because I like how the GNT phrases it. I believe it's this. Yeah, Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 6 in the GNT. The words of the wicked are murderous, but the words of the righteous rescue those who are threatened. It says, the wicked meet their downfall and leave no descendants, but the families of the righteous live on. If you are intelligent, you will be praised. If you are stupid, people will look down on you. Right? You don't want to be stupid. Okay? And when you're emotional, you make stupid decisions. Or how many times when you're angry, do you regret saying something? You know, how many times when you're angry, or, you know, when you say some shit. Okay? And that's what happens to the woman a lot, bro. You know, a woman will tell you shit, and then, you know, man, I can tell me if I'm lying, bro. A woman will tell you something. Your lady gonna tell you something, you know, and next thing you know, she's sorry. She apologizes. You know, she's asking you to forgive her or whatnot. You know, but we know that women are the weaker vessel. Okay, so you say, hey, you know, it's fine. Just watch to control your anger. Okay, but that's a feminine spirit. All right. And really, you you gotta, make sure that's not like a reoccurring thing. Okay, but we understand that the woman is a weaker vessel. Okay, a woman will allow her emotions to dictate her actions a little more than a man should, or a lot more than a man should. A man should never respond out of their emotions. Okay, because a real man, you're gonna learn how to control your fucking emotions, bro. And I'm not saying the woman is innocent either. Okay, don't get it twisted now. The woman probably did some shit that messed up, that offended the dude. Okay. She probably did some shit that would offended him. I don't know what exactly it was, but the scriptures say who perish being innocent. Okay, no one who's innocent, is gonna get beat down on. All right, or at least not how she described it, But it says, and I'm gonna jump down to verse 16. Or matter of fact, I'm gonna jump down to verse 14. Your reward depends on what you say and what you do. You will get what you deserve, right, man? So if you're constantly reacting over your emotions and you're constantly allowing your emotions to dictate what you do, look, that's a feminine spirit. You're gonna get a bad reward, man. You're gonna meet fire with fire. Okay, the scriptures say that the power of the tongue, roughly paraphrasing, death and life is in the power of the tongue. Okay. It says, stupid people always think they are right. Wise people listen to advice. Okay, and this is advice. Okay, and this is advice given down from the elders and apostles on down. Okay. When the elders and apostles are mad, they'll get on you, but they're not gonna lay their hands on you though. They're not gonna. The elders and apostles they'll scorn you, of course. You go off, they'll tell you, But they'll do it in a way where you learn, okay? It says, when a fool is annoyed, he quickly lets it be known. Smart people will ignore an insult. Right, man? You don't let these other people, these other things dictate how you act, bro. So, you just gotta be more prepared, man. Don't be like this dude, bro. This DDG guy, he's a damn fool, bro. Don't beat on your don't beat on your woman. I know I don't gotta say it, man, but you gotta control your actions, bro. It's never a good idea to beat on your woman, bro. You don't ever want to do that. And it not only is it gonna get you legal trouble, it's gonna get you in all type of trouble, and it just, ultimately there's not a real reason, to beat on your lady, But that's pretty much it. Lord willing was edifying. Lord willing was uplifting, man. Don't be like this.